Hello Internet, this is IMO³, a show in which I share with you guys 3 things that I really like. I'm Yan and for today I have 2 books and a CD, so let's get this started. And for my first pick I have a book called The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. And if you follow me pretty much anywhere, like on Twitter, I would probably have already talked about this book, because at this point this is my favorite fantasy book. It's the first book of a 3-book series called The Kingkiller Chronicles, and it's kind of like a biography, only the person telling the story is a person that is part of a fantasy world. I call it a biography because, unlike other books and much more like reality, not everything is explained in this book. There are a lot of versions to the same story and you're only getting one of them. And there are a lot of layers and secrets to explore. So for me this is not like a typical fantasy book in the way that it is written. Sure, there is magic, but it's called sympathy in this book. It's not a miraculous situation by any means. It has rules and it feels a lot more like science or physics than just like glitter and tricks and jazz hands. I could go on forever about this book. The main character, Kvothe, is amazing. He's one of my favorite characters in all literature and in all media at this point. The writing is music, everything is really good, and it's a page turner, even though it's pretty big. Like, this is my English version of the book, and it's you can see that it's a fantasy book, but if you see my Portuguese version, like, this is a brick. Like, can you even see the difference? But I can assure you guys it's totally worth it. You won't see the pages going by. It's so good. Like, I've cried, I've laughed, I've smiled, I've felt like punching walls. I did all of that. I looked like a maniac while reading this in a bus. If you like reading by any means, even if you like fantasy is not your cup of tea, just please check this book out. And this is like my favorite copy ever because a friend of mine actually met Patrick Rothfuss in England and I couldn't go to that signing, but she did get it signed for me, so yay! This is like, I'm really proud of this. The second thing that I have for you guys, it's also a fantasy book. It's called The Lies of Locke, Lamora by Scott Lynch. It's the first book out of 7, there are 3 out at this point, of the Gentleman Bastards sequence. And imagine like a fantasy city with lots of canals, and it has like these huge towers made by a civilization that has long since declined and no like of this indestructible material. And now mix that with Italian mafia and con artists, and that's basically what this book does. It has all that and a lot more. The characters are really witty. Locke, which is the main character, Locke Lamora, but not only him, like all the characters are really entertaining for me. It has some of the best cussing that you'll ever read, like seriously, it's hilarious. I'm going to read you guys one of my favorite lines of the first book. Throwing blondes at Locke Lamora is not unlike throwing lettuce at sharks. So if this doesn't make you read this book, I don't know what will. The last thing that I have for you guys is a CD that my parents own, and it's called O Stravaganza Vivaldi in Ireland. It's done by Hugh de Corson, a musician that usually does world fusion music. And in this case, it's of course a fusion of Vivaldi with Celtic themes, and it's just great. It's really good. It makes you feel like dancing. I will leave you guys a link for one of the tracks for you guys to check it out if you like that sort of thing and that sort of Celtic music area. And those are the 3 things that I have for you. If you have any suggestions or anything that you'd like me to recommend, like if you want more books or more music or more video games or films, just please tell me, and also tell me if you check out or know any of these 3 things that I'm talking about this week. They are really good and I really enjoy all of them, but especially the books. Just go read those books, please. Until next time, you can catch me around on the internet as usual, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys!